Good morning, guys. Um, just waiting for folks to join us here. I just posted this on some of my social media. I guess mainly only, Twitter, X, however you want to call it. So I'm just kind of waiting to see if, to get, I guess somewhat critical mass here before we start. I do have the risk disclosure up, guys, so you can review that. In the meantime, I also would encourage everyone to, if you are not currently a subscriber, and morning, Miss Circle. If you're not currently a subscriber, I would encourage you to do that, to do so that you can receive notifications when I do, present analysis like this. Okay, and then more, I guess, also equally as important, don't be afraid to hit the like button if what I'm presenting here resonates with you and supports your trading. Okay. Um, so yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and just to kind of paraphrase the risk disclosure here, I'm not going to go letter by letter. You guys have it visible on the screen here. And really, the idea here is that the market trader I'm here really as to provide general information only. Okay, none of the information provided is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Okay. We all understand that future trading does contain a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor, and that investor could potentially lose all or more of their investors' initial investment. Only risk capital should be used without jeopardizing one's financial security, and you should have enough risk capital to consider trading. Okay, nothing contained here, and again, is a solicitation to buy, sell futures, options, or forex. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Hey, Niels. Hey, Yatkin. All right. So let's go ahead and remove the disclosure, and we'll open up the news, and we'll here and make sure that everybody can see the main homepage for the investing.com. If I can get some confirmation of that, and then I'll proceed. All right, perfect. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the economic calendar here, as we always do on a daily basis. We want to be abreast of anything that could potentially impact us in an unanticipated way. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clear this out and fill it for US only. Okay, and I'm going to pick 2 and 3 star events. Two and three. Okay, apply. And then I'm going to go ahead and scroll to the top. Okay. And really all we have, we have a couple of, well, at least one item here that's could potentially, we have the jobs JOLTS report coming in at 10 a.m. among other things, right? We have the option expiration also coming in at that. So 10 a.m. Eastern time should be circled on your checklist of things that could potentially impact the markets to be flat for. Okay. We also have factory orders coming in at that time, and we have an API weekly crude oil stock report coming in at pretty much the close of the market. So it's probably not going to have much of an impact at all on us. Okay. So relatively light on news, I guess. We do have the JOLTS job open report coming in at 10 a.m. But beyond that, we don't have anything. I prefer having these news events happen earlier in the day so that I have, the market digest, and then we can respond, right? Rather than having come in at the middle of the day and then the market kind of, waiting for that news event to happen before they participate. So this is happening relatively early in the session, so we get the news out of the way. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. So as always, we'll start with the gold market since it's already currently open. So we'll go ahead and share my I've been kind of researching Nikkei a bit. I see a lot of activity from our traders in the Nikkei, and I can see why. You know, really nice swings that we get here out of the Nikkei. All right. So in any case, let's move off the Nikkei and let's look at gold market. All right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with the daily. Here we are. All right. So I'm going to move this off to the side. So nothing really much to say other than as far as the daily goes, nothing really has changed. Okay. We still seem to be in this kind of ranging market in gold, right? Top side, 2390, bottom side 2340, and kind of been bouncing between these two levels for the last 7 days. Okay. We remain above an important, I would say, an important demand level in gold, and honestly, the longer that we stay here without getting some sort of reaction away from it, the more likely we are to continue lower, in my humble opinion. Okay. So in any case, so daily chart, I guess bearish to neutral. Okay. Yeah, against an area of potential. All right. So for our chart, we had a relatively strong bundle develop here. Let me remove some of these lines here. Don't like much lines until I get to my 30-minute. So let's turn this off for a second here. Okay. So again, similar to what we're seeing in the daily, right? We are ranging, right? Price is ranging top and bottom here, right? Not really any definitive direction one way or the other. Okay. We have a developing bullish candle, again, up against an area you can see of maybe some kind of a child demand level. Okay, that's been, I guess, spawned as a result of this daily, right? You can see evidence here, right, that we've responded away from this level. We responded away from this level, and now we're starting to create a little bit of a little mini demand zone here above, right? Hopefully you guys can see why I'm drawing this. All right. But basically it's this conviction bar that we're seeing, and then we're seeing a candle that's reacting away from it, and price is not closing back inside it. Okay. So that's kind of the reasoning behind the drawing here, right? So that could spawn, right, a move potentially higher. Okay. Potentially higher here. All right. Off of this demand level. All right. 30-minute chart. This is where we're going to start our review of volume profile. Okay, so I'm going to kind of stretch this out here a little bit so it's kind of visible, and we can see all the things that we are interested in. Okay, so let's locate fixed range volume profile. And we're going to locate the Monday. There it is. We're going to go from 8:30 Eastern all the way to 13:30. There it is. So we're kind of hovering at the edge of value area low. All right. The edge of value area low. No horizontal ray. We go from here. Okay. So hanging out at the edge of value area low. Initial balance is relatively narrow. Okay, we have a relatively narrow initial balance range. Try to see, maybe I probably don't need these fast levels. Let's see if I can get rid of that. Clean it up a little bit. Okay, perfect. Well, that cleans that up a little bit. Like that a little bit better. Okay, so here we are. We are at the edge of value area low. All right, technically inside value from yesterday. All right, so we had price kind of come down to this demand zone, reacted away from it, and now it almost looks like it wants to do a bit of if it manages to get above this 23, let's say 2354, maybe as high. Well, probably more like 23.55, then we stand the chance of making a full rotation, right, which is pretty significant, making a full rotation of value here, okay, right? The fact that we close back inside value, we have the potential of actually making a full rotation here, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and draw in my anchor VWAP off this new kind of double bottom, right? Double bottom. We had a bottom here and a bottom here. I'm going to draw in my anchor VWAP, right? Right about here, right? And then see how well this tracks the sentiment throughout the day in gold, all right? Right now, it's feeling like there's potential opportunity for this to head back to settlement price, or at least back up to maybe the edge of value, up to the EMA here that we have, a 233-day EMA. We got a black screen. Okay, here we go. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see that now. Apologize for that. I don't know why it takes a couple of attempts here to get things going. Yeah, sorry. Okay, you guys can see it okay? All right. Any case, let's briefly review what I just said here, okay? So we were seeing kind of neutral price action on the daily and the 4-hour. Okay, 30-minute, we have price. Let's move this off the candle here. We have price just above value area low, okay? With the potential, if it does close inside a value of a value area acceptance all the way through the value, okay, all the way up to EMA, and potentially up to this area here. But it first needs to get above this, right? This 23.55 level in order for all that to happen, okay? Otherwise, it could potentially stay in this range, okay? Let's call out some ADR levels. Okay, so looks like we've already exceeded ADR to the downside. Yes, already exceeded ADR to the downside, so that could potentially speak for a little bit of a continuation move to the downside. The fact that ADR has broken so early. All right, so let's start calling out some of these levels. See. Okay, let's start calling out some of these levels here. So ADR high. Okay, ADR high is, what is it? ADR high here at, what is that, 2389, 2389.4. 2389.4. ADR low. Well, we're at it right now, and that's around let's call it 2352.9. 2352.9. We have settlement at 2369.3. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off ADR here for a minute and turn on ASR. So we have ASR here slightly higher. Difficult to read here. This is 2343. 2343 looks like 2343 ASR low. All right, ASR low at 2343. Okay, and then ASR high here at looks like what, 2366. 2366.3. All right. Okay. So we've already spoken about at least one scenario here, right? Bullish scenario off of this level here, right? We have a relatively strong demand zone. We also have an area here. Let's go ahead and turn on VWAP. We also have an area of demand, right? So we have ASR low, we have a demand zone, we have price kind of hovering inside value. Okay. Not exactly sure why, we're getting such a dull open here. I don't know if there's because of the JOLTS report that's coming up here at 10 a.m. People are waiting for that before folks are wanting to put any sort of position on this. This feels like we're going to get a pretty strong initiative move here coming out of gold if we remain in this very tight initial balance range. It's not going to take much effort to break out of this area. Okay, so we've already talked about the value area acceptance play. We've already talked about targets that this could have. If we're thinking that this is more of a bearish, well, we have VWAP right here. Okay, that could offer us some resistance for a continuation move lower. This would support this swing. Okay, we also obviously have these ASRs and ADR levels above us that could offer, again, another area. Notice how ASR is right on top of value area high. Okay, ASR right on top of it. I don't know if that's coincidence or by accident, but that's a pretty strong confluence area with value area high and ASR. We also have the EMA. So these are all areas, VWAP, EMA, ASR, settlement price, that could offer some areas of resistance and potential reversal in price. Okay, so I'm going to take a look and see here if there's any questions. I think that's pretty much what I have to say on gold. Like I said, right now it feels like the market is kind of waiting for news to happen. I don't know, potentially maybe the JOLTS report is kind of causing this market to not create too much of a range here. Okay. All right. No questions. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the gold chart. So we're going to go ahead and save this away. We're going to go ahead, not gold, but we're going to move on to crude oil. All right. So we're going to go to crude oil. Okay. Crude oil, we're going to go ahead and open up let's start with this chart here. Let's go ahead and move this off to the side here for a second. All right. So why is this blue line? Where's this blue line? Where is this blue line coming from? Oh, this blue line is probably coming from some sort of consolidation zone that I drew on the daily. I think it was a triangle of some sort that I saw, or maybe on the weekly chart. Okay. We were looking at this and we were watching this probably on the weekly chart. You can see that price is kind of continuing to create this kind of triangle pattern. Probably this might be a little bit better visible on a weekly chart. Okay, so we have this triangle pattern here that's being developed here on consolidation pattern that's being developed here on crude oil. All right. Okay. Right. We're at the bottom edge of this now. In the past, if we are to remain in this, I don't know if there's any sort of Elliott wave folks out here, but this is coming pretty close to a breakout of some sort, right? Looking more right now of a breakout to the downside. Okay, if I had to guess. Okay, so we're in consolidation, looking at bearish. Sorry. Let's take a look at the daily. Daily seems to have a series of candles to the downside. Get rid of some of these things here. I have. Okay, so we broke some structure here to the downside. Okay, so you had some end zone here that's been broken to the downside. Now we're up against an area, following this kind of trend line that's been created as part of this triangle pattern. Now, is this area going to provide an area for reversal here? Okay, is it going to do one of these numbers? Or is this going to be the series of candles that's going to break this zone? Okay, this area, this trend line has offered multiple tests. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 tests. Okay, is this going to be any different this go around? All right, we shall see. All right, so right now, I would say on the daily chart we're looking rather bearish, I would say. Okay, coming into area of potential support. Okay, for our chart. Okay, similar kind of thing. Let's right. So we have a developing kind of high wave candle. We got wicks on both ends. This candle over here, but otherwise bearish, right? If I'm looking from left to right, what direction am I headed? Well, I'm headed down. Okay, simple as that. I don't go through, what direction am I going? Well, I'm headed down. I'm headed down. Okay. 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Again, as I mentioned, we've reached this bottom end of this consolidation pattern that I drew on the weekly triangle pattern that I drew, centric triangle pattern that I drew. Now we're starting to develop some structure that could lead to some price action, that could lead potential to higher prices. Okay, could, I say could, right? We have let's widen this out here a little bit. Okay, makes it a little bigger. All right, so here we are. Okay, we've got price kind of reacting off the bottom end of that triangle pattern, and now it's created a little bit of a demand zone. Okay, hopefully by now you guys understand why I'm drawing this as a potential demand zone. Right, we've gotten some reaction away from VWAP, so that could indicate that we could get a continuation move to the downside. If this closes in this kind of fashion, that's a path that we could head, right. Little push away, and then down goes Fraser. Now, if we do manage to close above this and break some of this structure above, then we start to open up price to some of these areas above us. This 74 level seems like a reasonable level for a target, and maybe as high as maybe an old IB low from yesterday. Okay. All right. So let's open up some of these. Let's first start with the fixed range volume profile. Okay, and see what we can locate there. So fixed range volume profile. We're going to go ahead and into Monday. We're going to find the 9 a.m. bar. 9 a.m. bar. Here we are. Drag that across to the 1330 bar. Here we are. So price below value should not be surprised given there's a lot of shorts in the market right now. Okay. So the market is relatively bearish on crude oil, as surprising as that might sound. Okay. So value area, we're below it. Developing I guess reverse hammer candle. Okay. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and open up EMA. Where's the EMA? It's probably well above us. Yes, well above us. Okay. And then initial balance, we're not quite there yet, but I'm going to go ahead and start to open that up. Okay, waiting for that to happen. Okay, so let's start calling out some of these levels. Let's open up ADR. All right, so we've exceeded ADR. So a lot of confluence here. We have a demand zone. We have ADR exhaustion. We're hovering around VWAP. It'd make for a very nice long here. Okay, if we do manage to break some structure, let's say above 73, let's call it 73.33. Okay, I'm looking at this line right here. That would break above VWAP and also above this last kind of bearish candle, significant bearish candle, right? Almost looks like an exhaustion, a couple of exhaustion candles here, sellers on this side before the buyer started to step in here a little bit. Okay. All right. Let's call out some of these levels. So ADR high. Okay, ADR high here at looks like about 74.98. Okay, 74.98. We got ADR low here at, what is that? Looks about 73-ish. Yeah, let's say 73.05. Okay, let's spell low correctly. L-O-W. No, I don't want to change this. Okay, so right here, L-O-W, ADR low. Let's call it 73.05. And then settlement is 76. That's way above. 76.61, is that right? Yep, way above. Right, 76.61. Well, so we've had a pretty significant drop in crude oil. All right. Let's see, settlement. Okay. All right. Now the only thing that I will need to call out here now is ASR. All right. So that's a little bit closer to the market. So I have 72.12. Okay. And then I have 73.59 on the top side for ASR high. 73.59. All right. So now that I have my levels, what are some of my hypos? Okay. Well, one hypo that I see is that we potentially get a reversal, okay, off of this demand zone, right, to potentially higher prices. But before I embrace that, I need to get out of this area. I need price to close above VWAP and I would say above 73.20 for me to embrace that. All right. Now, what's another area where I could potentially be bullish? Well, this 72.12. This is ASR low. Let's see where ADR low is. We've already exceeded it. Okay. So this ASR low of 72.12 looks a bit appetizing for a potential long. Okay. If I'm net bearish, and I wouldn't blame you given the price action, then I would say that a good area for a reversal in price or continuation is where we're at right now. Okay. We have already kind of confirmation on the 30-minute chart. We're getting a little bit of reaction off of VWAP. Okay. Only problem is that we're coming up on against a little bit of a demand. So that you're kind of paying a little bit of retail here going short. So this area above here, 73.59, offers a relatively nice area for a short. We're starting to see some price action. Initial balance is being created as we speak. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see how this candle closes. If this candle closes bearish without closing inside this area, that could spell, for further price movement to the upside. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now in crude oil. So some targets, I could see before maybe returning a little bit bearish is this area here, value area low. All right. This could be a nice target for a move. All right. Before we see any sort of significant move back down. All right. But we first need to get above this level to even consider that. Right. Because if we do get above this level, I don't see much in its way other than ASR. Okay. I don't see much in its way other than ASR. All right. All right. See if there's any questions. I don't see any. So we're going to go ahead and move to the equities. All right. So we'll take a look at the equities. All right. We'll go ahead and open up NASDAQ. All right. So we just, this is kind of leftovers from a discussion we had in yesterday's coaching about patience and staying true to your process and things of that nature. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those drawings, and we're going to go ahead and open up the daily chart. All right. So I'm going to turn off ADR levels for temporarily. Okay. So here we are retesting some of these prior levels, right? What was resistant becomes supportive. Okay. So this right here, what was resistant becomes supportive. We have a developing bearish candle. We did peak inside, right? But the wick has not closed inside this area yet, right? Maybe depending on how I draw this bar, if if I focus more on the tops, the closes, then probably our candle line looks more like this. Okay, so this is kind of the line in the sand, right? Do we manage to close inside this area for further price action to head lower? Okay, or do we manage to stay above the level and maybe serve as a kind of a springboard back to more upside, right? So this is kind of the line in the sand that I see based on structure here, right? We got a reversal off this level once, reversal off this level. We had a pretty good exploration here on Friday, and then we had a big rally back. Like everybody was ready for the fall, and then it rallied pretty strongly back, and again closed above this line in the sand. Okay, what is this line in the sand that we are talking about here? I'm gonna call it 18.5, 88.50, something like this. Okay, so daily, I don't know. I would say that we're still looking left to right. I'm still not seeing a whole lot of breaks in structure that would tell me that we are headed lower. Okay, so I would probably lean more bullish. Okay, bullish to neutral, I guess. Since we're kind of having some overlapping candles here. Okay, this looks like I don't know, maybe part of some sort of corrective kind of pattern that we have, and an overall up move. If I go 1, 2, 3, maybe this is kind of a 4. Okay, for those Elliott wave folks out there. Okay, all right. Go ahead and move on to the 4-hour chart. Let's turn off initial balance here for a second. Again, developing a little bit of a demand zone here. A little bit of a demand zone. Go ahead and draw this demand zone. Got a little bit of a demand going on here that I see. All right. Very important level, I guess, for upside, further upside. I would say we need to get above 18,710, 18,710. All right, to kind of continue this push higher. Right. We have a demand zone that's being developed here on the 4-hour. If we do manage to close this candle bullish, then we have a reasonable chance of breaking above this level and heading higher. Okay. 30-minute chart. Okay. So we have some reference level above us. We have settlement price. We have this kind of line in the sand that we kind of drew off of the daily, right? And let's see, and we're above VWAP. Okay. So for now, you have one, two. We have settlement price in our sights. Okay, I would say that that we'll reach settlement price, and then potentially from there we could reverse from there. Okay, settlement price. If we're looking for a reversal in price, settlement is probably a reference level that we can kind of lean on. Okay. Now, if we do manage to get above settlement and above this area, as I mentioned before, this 18,700 level, then we could potentially head higher. Okay. So let's go ahead and start opening up fixed range volume profile. Let's get a view of where we stand from a profile perspective. So let's go over here, drag this across to 1330. There we are. So we're inside value. Okay. So there's, I guess, inside kind of temporary balance. We still have, I don't know, close to over 20 minutes before the market opens. So it could change here a bit, but chances are we'll probably end up opening inside balance. So that indicates that neither the bulls nor the bears are in control, right? We're kind of potentially be bouncing inside this range. Okay. So it kind of, I don't know if I'm kind of a little bit inclined here to see what this anchored VWAP provides me, right? This is kind of important area, right? So having this serve as an anchor, which is, I don't know, somewhere in the Monday trade, we got to this low. All right. We'll see. Maybe this is kind of the measuring stick for me to determine whether I, think more bullish or think more bearish. Right now, I would say that I'm thinking more bullish. in the market, right? I think we have room to get up to this settlement price, which we're going to be talking about and laying out here in a minute, okay, as an opportunity. But let's not talk too much into on hypos just yet without a discussion on the levels. All right. So we got ADR high here at let's look at this. ADR high here at, what is that? 18,783.50. 18,783.50. We've got ADR low that we had a really nice bounce off of in the overnight or prior or pre-market, right? Let's call it 18. Let's call it 18,540. I don't know why I type ADR low so badly. Did I say 18? Did I say 18? I forgot what the number was. Okay, let's call it 18,542.50. Okay, we got settlement price at 18,646. Settlement at 18,646.25. All right, we're going to go ahead and turn off ADR here for a second and turn on ASR. All right, we got 18,616.50 as ADR low. 18,616.50. Okay, and then ASR high as, what is this? 18,821. 18,821. All right. So those are my levels. Okay. So let's talk briefly about some hypos. Well, we've already talked about a couple of hypos here, right? We have this anchored VWAP that I just drew off of this price event here, right? So if we do manage to stay above this, then we have a reasonable bullish trade up to this area and potentially beyond. Okay. We are well, what did I see here? I think it was ADR level. We're already kind of reacting off of ADR. Okay, this would have been a very nice bullish trade at 5 in the morning Eastern time. Okay, this provided a very nice reversal trade off of a known price level. Okay, so yeah, so those are a couple of bullish scenarios. Okay. If I'm thinking more bearish, well, I have obviously these ASR and ADR above me, right? These areas right here could offer some resistance to this potential bullish move. Value area high here could offer some resistance, okay? Right? It's right around this settlement price as well. So this area here could be resistant. Right, we do see a consolidation here, so it's going to take a little bit to get through this area. Not impossible, but could offer some resistance. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers the areas that I wanted to cover as far as reference levels. Right, looks like it wants to make this push right up to in pre-market, at least up to settlement price. After that, I guess all bets are off on whether it can continue that move to move up, right? It could potentially reverse off of this level down. Okay. All right. I don't see any questions on the chat on NASDAQ on either the hypos or any of the levels I drew here. So let's go ahead and move on to ES. Okay, so ES, we have, similar kind of view. We're going to just briefly take a look at the daily, get a feel for where that is, what that is saying. Okay, so we are here, some sort of, looks like some sort of correction pattern here on the ES. Turn on ADR here. So yeah, looks like we are in some sort of corrective pattern on otherwise kind of impulsive move to the upside. We've broken some structure over here. Now we're kind of, kind of meandering its way, in this consolidation, until we get maybe a potential leg up, right? As long as we stay around this area, we run the risk of a move down, right? But if we do break above it, then we have a potential, leg up here, right? Maybe the size of this swing here, right? That's kind of what I'm looking at right now, right? Maybe up to this 54, 5500 level, okay? Potential, okay? All right, for our chart. For our chart, we have a developing bullish, I would say more of a piercing candle here in, see if I can get back my arrow, save my arrow. Okay, so we have a bullish, not engulfing, but a piercing candle developing in a potential area of demand. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. Potential area of demand right here. Okay. We have a developing bullish candle. Now we need to get above this level to really have some significant legs to this potential move. Okay. 30-minute chart. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start to draw in our fixed range volume profile, things of that nature. Okay. So let's find the fixed range volume profile tool. Let's go ahead and locate the 930 candle, drag that across to the 1330 candle. All right, so we are much like NASDAQ inside value. All right, so even though we have a series of candles to the upside, we're really having a series of candles in an area that, has already been established as an area of value. Okay, so no, I mean, other than a series of candles, is really the idea is that we've kind of been bouncing around top and bottom in this value area. Okay, let's go ahead and start calling out these. Let's go open up ADR here. We've already reacted off of ADR low, and let's start calling out some of these levels here. Okay, so we have ADR high. We have ADR high here at, let's call it 53.26. We have ADR low that we're reacting off of at the moment. Okay, at 52.74.50. 52.74.50. We have settlement at 52.97.25. Let's go ahead and turn off ADR and turn on ASR. And we have, let's say 52.92, 52.25 low, and then 53.22.50, 53.22.50 ASR high. Okay, so similar to the comments I made on some scenarios in Nasdaq, if price manages to close above VWAP, looks like settlement price is very much in the cards. All right, I'm going to turn this off for a second and turn ADR on better. Okay, so yeah, so looks like settlement price is definitely in the cards. All right, we do get above this, then we have the potential of getting up to ADR high. Okay, but we still need to get above this. All right, now in the same token, this is also value area high and settlement price. So this could offer a reversal zone, a reversal area, right? Price could reverse off this area as well, right? So we have to be cognizant of that. If we take a bullish trade, well, a reasonable target right now is settlement price, right? Looks like we do have a little bit of a supply zone here at 52.90, so it needs to to deal with that. But it looks like the settlement price is definitely in the cards here. Okay. All right. Yeah. So sellers up here, buyers around this area. And then right now, I would say the sentiment is looking a little bit bullish. Okay, we do have some areas that it needs to get above, but it's getting above one of them. And like I said, I'm kind of inclined here to do a little bit of an anchored VWAP here as well. So I'm going to do this, see where that puts us. Okay, so we have anchored VWAP and the normal daily VWAP all giving us a similar level here. Okay, relatively flat, indicating, range behavior, which we did get overnight until the tail end of it. And now we're starting to see some action that would indicate that maybe prices want to head higher. All right, let's close out this session with a review of the Dow. Okay, we'll finish off with the Dow and entertain any questions if you have them. If you are, okay, so again, similar, just going to do a peek here of the daily chart. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move this away here for a second, turn off ADR, and kind of get a feel for what the market is trying to do here. Well, we did get a pretty strong push away from this area, and then all the candles that have followed have not really been able to close anywhere, certainly not deep inside this candle. Okay, so it appears that there is a little bit of a demand being created here. All right, that could lead to further upside auction. Okay, in price. All right, that's kind of what I'm seeing on the daily. Oops, keep that there. 4-hour chart. Okay, similar story. I guess some maybe could even argue that we might be even developing a little bit of a, kind of a little bit of a double bottom, not quite the bottom, but we got one move here, push, one move back, another push. If we do manage to get above 38, what is that? 38.6. Let's call it 640, maybe this level here, certainly above this 38,900. That could resume this march to the upside. Okay, in the Dow. All right. I'm kind of treating this as kind of some sort of corrective pattern at the moment. Okay, get a little impulse move higher, get a little correction, now potentially another move higher. All right, so 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. We're going to stretch this out here a bit, about 8 minutes before the market opens here. So I want to get that done before that happens. Okay, and let's see. We're going to go ahead and open up the fixed range volume profile. And that is here, I believe. There it is. Locate the 930 bar from Monday, which is back here. I drag that across to the 1330 bar and wait for this to develop. All right. So similar to all the other equities, right? We're smack right in the middle of the value area from yesterday. So indicating that there's a possibility that we could be in kind of range price action today. All right. Let's start calling out some levels here. So we're going to open up ADR. We are going to open up, let's see, VWAP is already open. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up a text window here. Let's start calling out some of these levels. Again, we got a very nice reaction off ADR low, as you can see, right? And also of this demand zone that we drew. So we got ADR high, not this. Okay, so we got ADR high here at, let's call it, what is this level? 38,866. 38,866. ADR low. here at looks just under shade under 480. Let's call it 468. 468. 468. We have settlement at 38,656. All right. Now go ahead and turn off ADR here and call out some ASR levels. So we have 38,644. Yes, 38,644 as ASR low. We have 39,020. 39,020 as ASR high. All right. So similar story that we, hypos that we presented, right? I think we have a reasonable chance of getting back up to this, I guess, the bottom of the ASR range and settlement, right? For either a potential, move back down, right? Or if we do manage to get above it, then we get up to value area high, maybe potentially up to some of these ADR highs or ASR highs. Okay, so that's kind of a bullish combo scenario. What else? We have value area high that could prove resistant here. Okay, and then obviously we still have the initial balance range that's going to give us some insights as well. So I'm seeing pretty much uniformity on the NASDAQ, the ES, and the Dow from a price structure kind of perspective. It's looking on all fronts bullish, okay, but there are some, I guess, obstacles in its way for a fully sustained move. Okay, this area right here is similar to the ES and the NASDAQ will prove to be potentially resistant. Okay, for price movement. So yeah, if we're bullish, well, this is a reasonable area to participate. The only thing that we need to be aware of is this. Obviously, another school of thought is I can wait for price, assuming that it's going to break this level, and then come back and participate on the retest coming back, right? Maybe that's an initial balance edge. Maybe that's a confluence between initial balance edge and settlement price. All right, I think that's what I have to say for the markets. We're about 3 minutes from the open. Again, I'm going to encourage folks to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. De nada, Paula. And yeah, I'm just going to wish you guys to trade and have a trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Okay, that's the slogan. All right. Yeah. See some of you guys in the coaching room. Okay, no worries. You're welcome, Sapadia. Yes, Niels, trade safe. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. Again, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys. Have a good day trading.